불타오르네.
So hello everybody, here I am again, Ivy Tero, your vlogger for today. So today we will talk about the most effective tips in public speaking. Today I will be discussing you the tips I have researched for me would be very helpful. Here are the tips. As you should know what the event is all about, the purpose, and your intention in making the speech. It doesn't have to be very creative or very metaphorical or very figurative. You just have to be precise, concise, and always use simple words so that your audience will be able to understand the message, and thus we would prevent misunderstandings about your message that you are conveying to your audience. For the content, it is best to research for your topic. As always, you have to do a research. In constructing your body, is you have to have at least the three basic parts: the introduction, the body, and your conclusion or the closing remarks. So in the introduction, there are a lot of tips to do. Inspirational quote, a funny line, and this funny line should be relatable to your audience because some funny lines may not be funny within the people that you are delivering your speech. So you have to also research about that funny line because not all funny lines applies to all the people. Always remember that. The next, for the funny line, your own experiences. This is the most convenient one because you know what is really happening in that experience. But also make sure that this experience is related to the topic. Always bear that in mind, that everything that you put in your introduction must be related to your topic. And lastly, give an overview of your topic. You have to clearly state your intention and the message. So in the body, so the second part of your content, there goes the details. Of course, we have to follow developmental system. If your topic is all about landslides and your intention is to give the causes, then there are a lot of ways to tell them. First, you have the listing of all the causes. Second is, if your intention is to inform the people or make them be aware of the effects, then you have the cause and effect. What will happen if we cut trees? What will happen to the causes? So next is we have exemplification, giving of examples. That would be very creative. You create image and be sure that these examples are known or is famous among your audience so that they can relate easier to your examples. Lastly, for your conclusion, you have to repeat again the points that the audience should remember and your intention of the speech. For entering into a battle, which is public speaking, you have to at least, if it's not looking good, but at least you have to feel good about yourself. Be comfortable with your look because that is the beginning of your preparation before the public speaking. There are a lot of tips that would be very helpful, but these tips would be useless if you don't know yourself. You have to remember, if you commit mistakes, do not ever say nobody will notice it. Only you knows the content of your speech, so nobody knows what's the next. Nobody knows. So if your fear is facing the crowd, I think the tip that I can give you to that is you should first know or get to know the audience. If the audience are the kids, then you should mingle with them minutes before or even hours before your delivery of speech. That would be very helpful when delivering your speech. Why? Because when you get to know at least just five little children among that crowd, they will be your ally. They will be the people that would guarantee that they are on your side no matter what. So you have to make friends, you have to make allies among the crowd, because in times of you're being pressured, just look at them, because they will be the person that will cheer you up. They will say, go, go, you can do it. Even if they won't say it, at least they are there for you, listening. So if your fear is just simply standing there must be something wrong with the way you think about things. So public speaking is, I can say it's not very easy, but we can overcome it. I am also, I have stage fright because of, I said earlier that I have this fear of judgment of the people when I commit mistakes. But I have learned that people make mistakes and that nobody on earth knows all the pronunciations and has mastered English, especially when you're not a native speaker. So it's a blessing that you know how to speak English. So that's all that matters, that you are able to convey the message of your speech very effectively. That will be the gist of your speech, right? So my first tip was never fear about judgment. Do not say sorry when you commit mistakes. Do not laugh about it. And next is make allies among the crowd, among the audience. This would fall on knowing your audience. The next is always smile, because even if it's the saddest story, smiling is the most effective gesture among the crowd. I think smiling would make you appear open-minded, and that would lighten up the mood of even though how sad it is, how gloomy is the weather, as long as the speaker smiles, everyone would be smiling too, and they would not say that the speaker is boring and that he is monotonous. Just smile. In delivering your speech, if you have a fear of committing mistakes, then speak slowly, but not too slow that like I am Ivy Tero. No, not that thing. You have to speak slowly, because this would take time when you are thinking. Talk slowly, especially when you are in a diverse audience. When you have kids, you have teens, you have old or elders, especially when these age gaps are on different cultures. You have to speak slowly, so that slowly and precisely and pronounce it properly. That would be very effective in conveying your message. 6 is pronounce it properly. Next is, let me repeat again, the funny line or the punchlines and the ad-libs. Make sure that these lines are not culturally biased, and that they are really funny and they click in the audience. So for the ninth tip is that be mindful of the body languages, because sometimes these languages might confuse or might bring different meaning to diverse audience. Okay, so there might be gestures that are offensive. Always research about the gestures that are offensive to the crowd that you are talking to. For the 8th tip, maintain a proper posture. If you can't maintain a proper posture, you can literally walk the talk if you can, but avoid overdoing so, because this might be nauseous to your audience. If you don't have the courage to walk the talk, then find something to support your posture. Always bear in mind that a good posture will add to your credibility as a speaker. For the 9th, this includes the body languages and the eye contact. In eye contact, it doesn't have to be eye contact with one person, like, hi, how are you, like, one by one. Your eyesight should be looking everybody else. Last tip for delivering your speech is that use visual aids, especially nowadays that people or especially teens have this short span of attention. So in order for them to catch up what you are saying there, you have to provide a visual aid, because not everybody will be listening to you anyways. I'm pretty sure of that not everyone in the crowd or in the audience is listening to you, so you should provide visual aids. A PowerPoint presentation would be very helpful in that situation. In presenting a PowerPoint presentation, you don't have to speak the verbatim, or you don't have to read what is there on your visuals. Do not speak it like in total. Do not do that. And always, it's very convenient if you have memorized your visual aid and that you don't look at it, and always stand beside the visual aid. Do not do this. If your visual aid is here, do not do this, because this would be useless if you're standing in front of your visual aid. So you have to stand beside. If the material is here, stand beside. And it's a big no-no if you do this. Here is here like that. It's a big no-no in presenting a PowerPoint presentation. Also, take note that in making a PowerPoint presentation, there has to be only 7 lines. 7 lines like that. And be careful in choosing a font. That font should be visible and as clear to the audience, even up to the last audience there. You have to check everything. All these visual aids would be very useless if this presentation, especially PowerPoint presentation, would fail at the moment of your speech. To prevent this one, you have to arrive earlier, or even a day earlier if you can. A day earlier would be very convenient for you at the day after, because you can practice it. You can even practice it without the people. Practicing your piece or the presentation would lessen the chances that you would commit mistakes. For the visual aids, still under the 10th one, the visual aids, aside from providing a PowerPoint presentation, you can provide a handout or a printouts to the audience, so that even if the person farthest away would know the content. And make sure that these handouts are summarized, okay? For more questions, if you want to ask tips for something, just comment below and I would be glad to answer them in my next vlog. Again, this is Ivy Tero discussing the tips for effective public speaking. I hope you have learned more, because I too have learned more than what I have learned from my experiences. So don't forget to click the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Thank you, and see you next time.